Angela's name is derived from the Greek word angelos, meaning messenger of God. The game she first appears in, Silent Hill 2, is a story of murder, abuse, and violence. All three main characters are guilty of some sort of crime, but Angela is the only one presented in a purely sympathetic way. Unlike Eddie and James, her actions were motivated by the desire to escape her situation. She is guilty, but she is a good person. The association with angels reinforces this idea. When Angela is last seen, she stands upon a fiery staircase. The scene is framed from below, looking up at her. It ends with Angela ascending the stairs, never to be seen again. When James comments on the fire around them, Angela says, "For me, it's always like this." The ambiguous statement has dark implications. Her life has always been like this, a burning world, a place of heat and fire. Her life has been hell. Angela has done something terrible, but it was in reaction to years of abuse and pain. This is why she ascends the staircase, leaving the fires of hell behind her. The scene is a metaphor for her life and her fate. Angela wears a heavy sweater, long pants, and sneakers. These clothes cover her entirely. She is 19 years old, yet her appearance has no individuality and is strangely sober for her age. Her clothes cover her body like armor, and she wears them in order to feel safe. Her movements are nervous, fidgety. She moves back and forth, indecisive during cutscenes. Her arms stay close to her sides. Usually her gaze is downcast, and she keeps her distance from other characters. Her vocal patterns reflect the same nervousness. She stutters, stammers, repeats herself, and has trouble asserting herself. James badly frightens Angela, and she immediately apologizes to him. She's been taught to believe she is to blame for other people's actions. When James ignores Angela's warning about the town, she angrily insists she's telling the truth. Her strong reaction reveals she's likely been doubted and called a liar for telling the truth before. Angela is first seen in a graveyard outside Silent Hill. She lingers there. Instead of heading directly into town as James does, she hesitates, just as she hesitates and second-guesses herself in speech and actions. Angela's lack of confidence and self-doubt reveal how little she thinks of herself, and it reveals how much she focuses upon death. Graveyards are uncomfortable places. They remind us of our own losses and our mortality. Most people do not linger there, just as most don't let their thoughts linger on death. But Angela stays in the graveyard, lingering near death. Angela appears for a second time in a room with a giant mirror. She is seen holding a knife she didn't have in the graveyard. Mirrors are symbols for deceit and division. Mirrors don't show the truth. They show a false image, a distortion of the truth. They divide people into two parts, the real and false image. In Silent Hill 2, the characters are all divided between truth and lie, reality and false memory. James and Angela both have repressed memories. They are false because they do not remember the truth. This is why they speak and act differently in the beginning as compared to the end of the game. Mirrors represent that falsehood. In Silent Hill 2, when a character is seen in a mirror, they are not showing their true selves. But in this scene, it's not Angela's reflection that's being seen. It's James. The conversation in this room is a riddle. As long as Angela is in front of the mirror, she reveals the truth. The nervousness and stuttering are gone, and so is her fear of James. She openly admits to her own self-loathing and guilt. James' responses are lies, because he continues to deny the truth of his crime. The knife she carries has blood on it. Later in the game, James finds an article about a Thomas O. who was stabbed to death. The knife is the weapon Angela used to commit her crime, but in the graveyard she didn't have it. In the graveyard, Angela had repressed the memories of her crime. She was presenting a false face. But in the mirror room, the real Angela appears for a short while. The knife makes its first appearance here, because this is where Angela first acknowledges the truth. But then she leaves the knife with James. She is still repressing the memories, the fate of her family. Angela's final appearance is in the staircase in the Lakeview Hotel. Here, she will be no longer afraid or anxious and speak evenly and directly to James, while standing in a position of power over him on the stairs. In the mirror room, Angela admits she wants to escape this world, as that's what she believes she deserves. When she begins presenting the false image again, when she represses her memories, she gives James the knife. She tells him she's afraid of what she might do. But in the stairwell, she asks for the knife back. She has stopped repressing her memories and accepted the truth. But the truth is so painful, she cannot live with it. James and Angela's crimes were committed against family members in response to many years of suffering. This has driven both of them to repress their painful pasts. James refuses to accept his guilt and pain yet, but while Angela represses some of her memories, she quickly admits to feeling guilty. She is a challenge to and a foil of James. From their first conversation, in which James says he's lost and Angela replies incredulously, Angela can clearly see through James. She tells him they are the same during the conversation in the mirror room, and James overreacts, insisting they are nothing alike. Her comment comes too close to the truth. In the beginning, the three main characters are all hiding their truths, even from themselves. Each character reacts differently when they finally remember. By this time, both James and Angela have accepted the truths they repressed and the guilt of their crimes. But Angela has accepted the wrong crime. She never mentions killing her father. The player must realize she killed him through clues in the game. The crime she accepts being guilty of is her own abuse. She didn't come to Silent Hill because of guilt over murdering her father. She came because of the guilt and pain of believing she deserved to be abused. This is the meaning behind the story of Silent Hill 2, that abuse and assault are so destructive and poisonous they can distort reality and confuse truth and lies. All three of the main characters are changed by abuse. Angela's has made her constantly afraid, anxious, and in pain. She sees only one escape from this suffering. Silent Hill 2 is also about the dangers of lies. Lies distort reality and lead to pain and death for those who believe in them. Realizing the truth is what saves James in the good ending. Refusing to face the truth is what destroys Eddie. Angela's truth is a lie. After so many years of abuse and being made to despise herself, she cannot escape the paradox of believing she is guilty of her own abuse. Unlike James and Eddie, Angela committed the crime of self-defense. The town calls to her, not to punish her, but to give her the peace she cannot find by herself. Silent Hill allows her to escape hell and enter heaven.